Just like the person who refuses to press rematch after only one game, one and dones in the fighting game genre are not that uncommon. Now, one thing I'm interested in this genre is how a character can show up in one game and then never appear ever again. These I want to call the one and dones. Now, with that said, I want to make the list with very simple rules, those being no guest characters. That's way too easy. Those are all fantastic, and I just made a video earlier about this. Number 2, I don't want to count any fighting game's newest iteration. So like Reina and Tekken 8, Giovanna and Guilty Gear Strive. I don't want to count them because we don't even know if they'll be in the next iteration or if there even will be another one of those games. Even though we know there will be Tekken 9 and another Guilty Gear. One last rule, and I think this is the fairest of them all. I don't want to count any fighting game characters that have only appeared in a single game, but that's because there are no more games in those series. You could just take the whole roster. Like the chicken from Mace on the Nintendo 64, he would probably be my number 1 pick, to be honest. Now, with those simple rules put in place, I think that sets us up for success. And let's just get into it with my top 10 one and dones in fighting games. Starting off our list at number 10 is going to be Farah and Tor from Mortal Kombat 10. Farah Tor, which is what I'll call them, consists of 2 characters, Farah and Tor. Obviously, Farah being the little girl with a claw gauntlet, and Tor being the big burly man with like a sack on his head. Their combination is pretty funny to me. There is a variation of them that Farah will just run in the background, just kind of watching the fight. But normally, you're allowed to throw Farah as like a projectile in the air, or, you know, throw her on the ground as like a slide. Their weird combination of like rider mount is just interesting to me, and I'm genuinely surprised that they got relegated to just DLC cameo in Mortal Kombat 1. I'd love to see more of them, but I just don't feel like they're the biggest hit with many Mortal Kombat fans. Now, the next character coming in at number 9, I can't pronounce this dude's name to save my life. Sheba? Sheba is Keelik's son in the Soulcalibur series, specifically Soulcalibur V, where they kind of did like the Street Fighter Third Strike thing, where they want to issue in a whole new generation. And Sheba just consists of Keelik. It's his whole entire moveset. I love him because I love Keelik. He's one of my favorite Soulcalibur characters of all time. But you give him a monkey's tail and just make him very Sun Wukong-esque, and I just love it. There's just a lot to be said there. And it's Keelik's son. And Keelik got done dirty in the game. They made him like a random character. He looks so sick, though. So I'll take Sheba for now. Number 8, to no one's surprise, the nightmare to many in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, Virgil. Virgil's actually extremely cool. He appears in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and he just dominates the tiers. He's going to be seen on almost any top tier team. And for me personally, I would put Dante on this list over him, but Dante ended up in MVCI no matter how much of an abomination that man looks like. So Virgil will have to do. I hope I never see him again in another game, but I think the absolute menace he is to the community needs to get him some sort of spot on this list. Now, going back to Mortal Kombat 10, this is where my rules get a little weird. I didn't mention it at the beginning of the video. I didn't want to take someone like Cyber Sub-Zero because he's still technically Sub-Zero. Just a variation. Like, I didn't want to do like a violent Ken. But to answer your question, Mortal Kombat 10. I'm picking Triborg. I'm cheating here. I know. Give me a chance. Triborg comes with 3 variations thanks to the mechanics in MK10. And you get to choose between Smoke, Sector, and Cyrax. 3 of the robots with very different movesets, and you get it all in one character. It's kind of like picking Chameleon in Mortal Kombat, but Chameleon showed up multiple times. And for those who don't know, Chameleon is a ninja who changes variations with the timer. I'm sure you've seen something about that within the time. I haven't played a lot of Triborg because I don't play a lot of Mortal Kombat 10, but the way they utilize the mechanic to create this character is cool. And honestly, I just genuinely don't see them doing this again. And I think that's fine. I think it's perfect the way it is. And another character I think is perfect the way they are is going to be my number 6th pick. Number 6th pick? Whatever. Sansan from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Sansan was made for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. She was designed for it, and I think beautifully so. She also, just like my number 9 pick, Sheba, is very Sun Wukong heavy. She transforms into a massive ape who shoots lasers. She can turn you into a peach and eat you. Her regular special moves involve shooting out what to me is like a bunch of monkeys that home in on you and hurt you. And she can run around the map and just she can run around the stage, the walls of the stage, and hit you. I just really like the design. You give me a monkey-esque character with a power pole and a transform, and you got me. You know, I'm hook, line, and sinker, and I hope that Sansan makes a return in some fighting game. Now, a character I don't see appearing in a fighting game anymore, maybe with their relevance nowadays, is number 5, Deadpool. And this whole list could be a Marvel vs. Capcom list, and I tried really hard not to make it one. But the Merc with the Mouth appears in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the only time we'll ever see him as far as I know. And his combos aren't that crazy, his gameplay isn't that crazy either, but there's just something about having Deadpool with his fourth wall breaks and his quick little quips throughout the gameplay that I really liked. And it kind of is more of a nostalgia thing for me. And just being able to use your super bar to actually attack someone. Is it the super bar or is it the health bar? It's one of the bars. To attack somebody is very cool. I mean, there's not much to say about Deadpool. You like him or you don't. I like him, so he's on the list. Keeping the Marvel vs. Capcom train going, let's just go right into my 4th pick, Amaterasu. I'm pretty sure I butchered it, but whatever. Amaterasu is from Okami, which was a PlayStation 2 game where you used brush strokes to attack. And it just is a beautiful game. And transitioning that over to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was done beautifully. I'm not great at her combos of changing weapons mid-combo. It's just not for me, but I do like that she has multiple weapons. You got the whip, you got the sword, and then you got her traditional shield. She even has a really cool special color, which consists of making her look like John Talbane from Darkstalkers, and I'm a sucker for it. She's got some really cool moves. She's done beautifully. I don't know where she falls on the tier list. Honestly, that doesn't matter to me. And yeah, please bring her back. She deserves to come back. And someone I think will come back, but technically hasn't so far, is my 3rd pick, Kazumi, from Tekken 7, who has not appeared in Tekken 8 yet, but I would bet my money she does. Kazumi's actually really cool. I went back to get some footage for this, and I forgot how interesting her gameplay is. To me, at least. To some, it's boring. She just summons tigers, to attack. She'll summon one that rolls. She'll use one for her jet uppercut, which I think is sick. And then she kind of has that Akuma-esque raging demon slide that she uses to just go into different situations and pop up with different moves. Story-wise, if Heihachi can come back, I'm sure Kazumi can come back. So we'll see where the future of Tekken comes. But as of this recording, she's been a one and done. And we'll see what the future brings us. Coming in at number 2, many people know that I don't play a lot of the old Street Fighters. But if you bring me to an arcade bar and they have Third Strike, I'm not picking Q. I am not picking Ken. I'm not picking Chun-Li. I'm picking Shawn. I know he got nerfed into oblivion, but there's just something really cool about the lore of the character, that he respects Ken and he wants to be the protege. And just being able to use a basketball throw as a taunt, he just screams cool to me. And he's got the headbutt move. He's just cool, man. There's not much I need to say. I know getting the number 2 slot just because I think you're cool is kind of crazy. But I think a lot of people would want Shawn back, and I'm one included. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's the hottest take on this list so far. I don't know. But please, give me Shawn in Street Fighter 6. You gave us the mini game. You teased me enough. Please, Capcom. So normally at this point in the video, I do an honorable mention, and most of my honorable mentions could easily be more people in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. But I don't really have too many I want to name right now without kind of flooding this video. So if you got some that I've missed so far, let me know right now. And take a guess who the next one is, because we're about to roll into my #1 pick of all time for one and dones in fighting games. Is coming in at #1. The reason I wanted to make this video with Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, I don't think there's anyone more deserving of the top slot than Ruby Hart. Ruby Hart was made to be the main character of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I know not a lot of people even know the lore, even myself included, but her gameplay, her character design, and her introduction to one of the most popular fighting games of all time really sells it for me. Between her crazy blitz air move that people like John Talbane have, or Beowulf from Skullgirls, there's a name for it, I don't know, to summoning geysers, or using super moves that summon ghosts from treasure chests, or shooting cannons with the pirate ship. She is just cool. She's very cool, very well designed, and I know back in the arcade age you could actually cause a glitch with her. I don't even know what that's all about. I just think that's funny as hell, to be completely honest with you. But Ruby Hart, surprisingly, was never reintroduced into the MVC series, and I think it's a crime. And I out of all the characters on the list, I really want to see her the most appear in another game, and for that reason, she's my #1. But with all that said, thanks for watching, and I just want to say, I know uploads have been really scattered lately. Life has been getting in the way a little bit, but I really want to hear from you guys. I want to know your favorite one and dones, how much you agreed with, how much you didn't, or if you just don't care. If you think some of these people should just stay one and done, and that's it. You never want to see them again. But seriously, guys, I really do appreciate everything. I appreciate the support. I will try to be better. I hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.